Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Microbusinesses on a Mission Facebook Live. We took like a 2-month hiatus, but we're back, and I'm very excited to introduce to you someone who has made it her mission to help families and children to thrive, essentially, to get the support that they need to thrive. I'm Emmy Damien. As you know, I have a business as well, Beauty Counter, which has a mission of getting safer products into the hands of everyone. And we love to support businesses, and especially women-owned businesses that have a bigger mission than just their product or their service, and aims to make this world a better place somehow. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Sara Davison, the founder of Kinley. Hey,
Hi,
Sara.
everyone. Hi, how are you?
Thank you for coming on our inaugural, I guess, return of Microbusinesses on a Mission. I just wanted to let you introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, sure. My name is Sara Davison. I'm the founder of Kinley, and I am a mom to now 5-year-old, hard to believe, 5-year-old Isla Grace. Yeah, I was just talking to Emmy about like where I'm from. It's very complicated. But I was originally born in Bahrain in the Middle East and immigrated to New Zealand when I was like 15 years old. And somehow we found ourselves in Australia, in Melbourne, Australia, and now in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm local now.
So, which accent did you manage to keep?
I get told people just find it really hard to place. You know, sometimes I'll sound even Irish. People are like, "Are you from Ireland?" And I think it's because I roll my R's, but then I have a bit of English, a bit of American that I've picked up. So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Keep them guessing, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure it had a big part to play in your founding of Kinley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how that came about and what
Sure.
it is.
Yeah. Kinley is an ecosystem of support for the modern parent. We're one platform that parents can go to find and book services and providers that support them and their families during those really like sort of crazy, critical, chaotic, that's our niche kind of is that sort of 0 pregnancy to 5 age period where parents are looking for that support that they need to be able to raise their family. So whether you're looking for like a doula or a lactation consultant or a mom coach, parenting coach, whatever it may be, it's one place where you can go to easily discover and book those services. But it's also more than that. We're evolving into being more of, I like to say we're like reimagining what it means for the modern parent to access a village of support, because we're parenting in 2021 and it is crazy. There's just so much, if you look at the history of humanity and how, parenting and familial structures always existed within communities. And there was always the support that we needed, whether it was, your aunt helping you with looking after the baby, or your neighbor, or someone just coming over to drop the meal and help you, get a couple hours of sleep. There was always like a support structure around families. And it's only in our recent history that that structure is sort of dissipating. So there's more and more being expected of parents and less social support. And so that was, my kind of segue for explaining how Kinley started is that was my experience too. I was in the corporate world. I was actually in nothing to do with parenting or technology or anything. I was in corporate business development, working for the big banks in Australia and New Zealand. And then I got pregnant and had a baby and everything changed. And so I went from this this sort of typical type A personality, career woman, from having everything under my control to suddenly being like, I've got nothing in my control. This little being that has come into our life is like controlling everything essentially. But because we were brand new in a brand new country in Australia by then, I didn't have a group of friends. We knew nobody. my mom wasn't around. We didn't have any neighbors that we really knew. And so I really struggled with, the transition into becoming a mom. And just really felt in my core, even though I knew that, of course, I'm not the only one who's experiencing this, the isolation and the overwhelm and everything that goes with it. But I really felt at my core that with parenting, it was never meant to be this way. We were never meant to parent alone. And so that's how the journey to Kinley started. First of all, I was, it started off in Australia, where I was, I had a brand new baby. My husband was traveling to the States. She wasn't sleeping and she wasn't latching. And, I was sleep deprived, overwhelmed, and I was desperately looking for, a sleep consultant or a lactation consultant, all these different services. But I didn't have 3 hours to spend on Google trying to find the right person. And it just blew my mind that for parents, there wasn't an easy way, when you can like order an Uber a pizza over, and it's just so easy, or, have all these different services like handyman or whatever, you could just get that supported at a touch of a button. But for parenting, it was like we were still stuck in the 1989, and so I was looking to solve that part of the equation, because what I saw, as well as I was speaking to the sleep consultant and the dietitian and all these different providers, is that they are super passionate people that, they have a gift that they want to share with families. They want to support families. They didn't get into their profession to work out SEO and, Google ads and what is the latest hashtag on Instagram. They want to get in front of their target market. And the challenge for them is they don't have massive marketing budgets, because usually they're like one-person businesses. So I saw, even though the opportunity is what I saw, it took me a long time for me to convince myself that I had to solve the problem. And so that's how Kinley evolved from starting it in Australia. And when we moved here, and COVID happened, and all sorts of different challenges are happening, what I'm really looking to create around Kinley is not just the convenience factor, but how can we reimagine how the modern parent accesses a village of support through access to experts, access to education, and access to community care. Because it's not like we can all pack our bags and go move to a commune together. That's not going to happen. So for us, it's like, well, what does it actually look like for the modern parent to be able to feel supported and have the tools and resources and support that they need to raise their children?
That's wonderful. I mean, yeah, I have older kids than you, but not, I still remember the first time you really, even if your mom was probably next door, as I was telling you earlier, it's such a different world from when they first had their babies, so even if they were right there, they could probably help you with the physical stuff, but like, the wisdom of the ages probably didn't apply now from when they were first new moms. So yeah, I think it was babycenter.com for me.
Right. Yeah.
And it was a huge help, but like you said, it wasn't a direct and local community that would be able to push you in the right direction for what you needed. So this is wonderful. Now, is this is more local right now, right? So you left Australia. That was more of a directory, I think, that you did there.
Yeah.
And then here it's evolving into something bigger, but it's still within the local area. Is that right?
Yeah. So our focus is local to our area. And obviously the plan is to expand as we go, but it's important to get, especially because we're changing so much and evolving, is to get the recipe right over here before looking to expand in different places. And we're still kind of tweaking the recipe.
Yeah, no, that will definitely take time. But I was just wondering if there was a request from people that you've known in other countries, maybe if you've kept in touch with them and they have the same issues that.
Yeah, I feel like it is a modern parenting challenge. I was actually reading this later, Motherly, their latest they do annual kind of surveys of 11,000, 15,000 moms or whatever it is. And so they overlay that on the population. So it's statistically accurate. But, it was horrifying reading that. It wasn't just horrifying, but it was also not surprising at the same time. So something like 92% of moms feel that they're not supported by society. Wow. Like there's 92% of us that feel that we're not supported by society. And I think something like 93% of us feel burnt out, like we're just burnt out. And, these kind of, they compare, sorry, I thought I switched that off, but they have the same questions that they compare every year. And the statistics are just showing that those numbers are going up every year. So the challenges like that we feel are increasing, and yet it feels like, there's still not the support that we need to help resolve this challenge, I guess, that we have.
And probably more so in the pandemic. Right?
Yes.
Because you can't get together with friends and ask them, hey, where do you go for this? I mean, you can over Zoom or text or whatever, but it's not the same.
Yeah. And I think that, really brought home to all of us. I feel that, when I say that we were never meant to parent alone, it's not just like a cute saying. Like, we were never meant to do it from a biological, however you want to put it down to. But, the pandemic was actually like the extreme end of showing us that with parenting, we were never supposed to do it alone. And I feel like that really brought that home to us. And what I feel like it brought even more desire and need from people to kind of connect in community again, which is a beautiful thing. And so, how can we as Kinley be part of facilitating that and creating that space for parents?
That's wonderful. Now, you don't just support local parents, you also support those in extreme situations elsewhere, correct? The advocate. Now, can you tell us a little bit?
And actually, that is the thing that made me decide to leave my corporate career. Is even though I saw that Kinley, there was a great business opportunity for Kinley, a real kind of social problem that we can help solve. Even though I saw that, but I was still not compelled enough to like go, okay, I'm gonna just like throw everything in and go full on this. But what I really kind of felt strongly about is if I was going to make that move, I wanted to make it count. And, even though I grew up and I was always really socially aware, and, my heart breaks every time the news comes on and there's some, famine and children, and you've seen all of that. But I feel like it takes on a different meaning when you become a mom and it's your baby. I'm going to get emotional, but you look at your little baby and you can't separate the value that you place on the life of your child with any other child in the world. And it just, it's just not acceptable for me that we live in a world where 50% of children, like the child population in the world, are impacted by poverty on some level. And then the number of people who are living under extreme poverty situations, half of those, I think it's 700 million, and more than half of those are children. And that shouldn't be, this shouldn't be something that our world is living with right now.
And they're the most vulnerable too.
They're the most vulnerable. And so I feel like even though we have come a long way in solving some of the, sort of poverty problems, and they have come down, but at the same time, we really, as a community or as parents or whatever kind of social structure that you identify with, I feel that we all need to play a part in building a better world for our own kids. And as we've seen in the pandemic, whatever happens around the world now, like we're just one world, whatever happens in one place affects us all. And we really need to take lead by example and take a stand for our children to live in a world that's free from poverty, and where, that's a more compassionate world where everybody kind of lives as if we were brother and sister. So yeah, so we've ever since we started in Australia, even though we are a startup, a small startup, right from the beginning, we have been donating and partnering with different charities around the world to support different missions. So we sort of partner with grassroots charities. So we've been working, when we were in Australia, we've been working with some with a foundation there who look after orphans. And so we helped contribute towards building a health dispensary where people can get, the kids can get malaria treatments, and we helped fund those. And, we're working with different charities now on helping feed kids just meals, so they have access to meals within their place of education. So I feel like it's we're at a really important juncture in our journey or in our trajectory as a human race. And everybody needs to pitch in, even if you are just one person trying to make a difference. It's sort of like that. It's counting yourself in as being a global citizen and saying, I'm in, whatever I can do to make this world a better place for all the world's children. That's
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for starting that. It reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen these community pantries back home. Of course, they're all free and everyone pitches in, but it's kind of the same mentality. You give what you can and you take what you need. And, obviously for you right now, it's free for the parents, and the ones who are really giving, I guess, are the business owners. Is that right? I'm trying to see how people can get involved. And if you have a business that will help parents with kids that young, and or if you're a parent with little kids, how would you fit into Kinley?
So we have been basically it's free for Kinley for parents to be able to use our online marketplace, so they can search and find and book services for their family, with the provider on our site. And we charge the provider subscription fee to be on our site and, promote their business. And through COVID, I guess I started doing what you're doing now, which was, when things were getting really intense, and I just saw the need in the community with so many people on Facebook and, just reaching out for support and just at a loss of what to do and how to handle things. Even though I didn't know necessarily what I can do to, I couldn't provide direct support to these people, but I did have access to professionals that are on our network to be able to have these conversations. So I just started a Facebook group with a friend, and started doing free Ask the Expert sessions. So we'd bring in like a mental health therapist. We had topics around parenting a child with anxiety. We had a dietitian come in. We had a lot of different topics on mental health and support around that. And we just really wanted to use it as a kind of education, giving back to the community somehow. And that really sort of resonated with a lot of people. And so now we're sort of looking at how do we continue to provide that support for families in a more kind of structured way for those who that appeals to. So we are assessing, I guess is a very loose way of saying it, assessing a parenting membership. So for a low monthly fee, you would have access to, various parenting experts that can speak to various parenting topics and answer, your direct questions, as well as integrating a community component. So we'd be doing, mom nights out, or, a day out with the kids and that kind of thing. So we're in the planning phase for that at the moment, but we are sort of opening the doors to expressions of interest, I guess you'd call it, from people who want to know a little bit more about it when we're ready to launch it. Yeah, so that's in the plan as well.
That's exciting. I mean,
Yeah,
that will be not just, online community, but also
in person. Yeah.
probably when, you'll be able to have events in person as well.
Yeah.
Is that going to remain free for those who don't want membership? Is there like content that's going to remain
Yeah.
free?
Yeah, so we still do that as well. We've got various publications. So we do some articles on RAL, WRAL, Go Ask Mom. We do regular, our experts come in to sort of provide sort of a 5-minute tip on how to manage a challenging situation or an educational content. And we are doing this spring, for people who are sort of listening in our local, we've got a parenting group called Parenting in the Triangle. And we are going to be doing more of those Ask the Expert sessions during the spring season. So yeah, that's available as well.
That's great. And is this going to remain in the 5 and under category, or are you going to expand as your 5-year-old grows? Are you going to or we're not there yet?
It was really hard because, I just wanted to when I started Kinley, I wanted to help everybody. I was like, yep, we're just going to do teenagers and moms and like kids, and we'll do but what I found doing that is that we were spread so thin that we weren't helping anyone. And the more that I found that we, were really niche down, whatever accent that applies, to an age group, the more that we actually were able to provide a great service. So at the moment, it is going to be focused on pregnant to parents of little. So, like that 5-year-old group, 5 and under, just because I feel like that is like the most critical point, for like setting the scene really for both your parenting experience as well as, your child. And so I feel like we can be of the most service there. And then who knows, like as things lock in and we develop, we could start opening up more of those opportunities.
Well, I think that's smart to really hone in on that critical time period for families, really. It's not just the child, but the parent. Yeah. They can get through that 5 years.
Yes.
Might be an easier teen years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but so I will include your contact information, all the links below. And when you start having that, the membership, I can also add that on later.
Yeah.
But for now, there's plenty. It seems like you have plenty of material already for people who are new to Kinley that they can browse. And there's no podcast or anything, right?
Oh,
because I was looking at your pictures and it said podcast. I got excited.
Yes, I had this dream of launching my podcast last year, and it wasn't. It just was
in time.
Yeah, I feel like the time is coming soon, though. Yeah. And so when it launches, it will be called Together We Mother, and it's all about not just it's about Together We Mother, but mother not being like a mom, but more as an adjective. So it's about community, in verb, sorry. Yeah. It's about like birthing a new world, together in support and in community. What are the things that we can do to create a better world and birth a better world for our children? Yeah.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful mission, and I'm so glad that you took the leap and did this, because I mean we've said this with a few of our other guests, that you can only make such an impact as one person, but when you build a business, you can actually impact so many more because you have more resources, more connections, and I think it's wonderful that you're doing this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sara. And if anyone would like information, I will put Sara's contact information, all the social media handles that she has, and you can connect with Sara.
Thank you so much. I mean, I so appreciate this.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you for doing what you do.
No
Thank
problem.
you, Sara. Bye, everyone.